না সেটা তোমার সুবিধার জন্যই করা। Okay, so the topic is greenhouse effect. Now the topic I have taken is greenhouse effect. Please stop talking everyone and listen to me. Greenhouse effect. Why do we call it greenhouse? Because there are some glass-made room. Really, there are some greenhouse, glass-made rooms. Have you ever been to Darjeeling or Kalimpong, Karsing? So there are some glass-made rooms. They are called orchid house. Normally they are calling it orchid house. Inside the glass-made room, they keep some plants, and those very costly plants and delicate one. So that is kept just to keep it away from the cold breeze. Just to keep it away from the cold breeze. These things are hanging in this glass-made room, and very cold weather. It is protected from the cold weather. Okay, protected from the cold weather. And similarly, we are also protected by this atmosphere. That's why it is called greenhouse effect, or global warming is also causing this greenhouse. This is the cause. This greenhouse effect is the cause of the global warming. Global warming means temperature of the earth is increasing day by day, and greenhouse effect is due to the presence of certain gas like carbon dioxide, ammonia, methane, N2O, water vapor, CFC. These are the specific gases responsible for this global warming, and they are called greenhouse gases. Okay, what are the greenhouse gases? Note down. What are the greenhouse gases? Number one is carbon dioxide. How much carbon dioxide is present at the moment? 0.034%. Carbon dioxide gas is 0.034%. Okay, so now you have other gases like N2O, water vapor. Write down the list. Carbon dioxide, N2O, water vapor, methane, and CFC. Only these, nothing else. Okay, so now the question is, why only these gases? Why not other gases? It is found that only triatomic or polyatomic molecules are responsible for this global warming, and never diatomic molecule. Why it is so? Because of certain movement or vibrations that is happening. Certain movement or vibration. Please close the door. Bad smell coming.
Only triatomic and
Yes, triatomic and other larger molecules, polyatomic molecules, are responsible for this global warming, and the reason is they have different modes of vibrations, stretching and bending modes of vibrations, stretching modes and bending modes of vibrations. Now there are two types of stretching called symmetric and asymmetric stretching. There are multiple types of vibrational modes available, like weighting. I'll show you if required. Let me show it. I'll open another PowerPoint. Yes, here. This one I was telling. Different type of movements of molecules. Symmetric stretching, asymmetric stretching. This is called symmetric stretching. Quick, all of you, call them, call the others. Take it now. So these are called symmetric stretching, asymmetric stretching. Symmetric stretching is the equally it is going. Just you see, it is equally coming and going back, getting stretched and compressed, again stretched, against compressed. And anti-symmetric, one compressed, other one is stretched, compressed and stretched. Rocking, both are moving like same direction. Here, wagging means it is doing like this. That is wagging. Twisting. Okay, scissoring. Different way. So this is like a wiper of a car. Okay. So different sorts of movements. This is the vibration of carbon dioxide. These vibration modes are these different type of vibration modes are actually matching with that vibration frequency of this vibration matching with the IR radiation frequency from the sunlight. Could you understand? The vibration of the molecules, the particular mode of vibration, frequency, matching with the IR radiation frequency from the sunlight. And that's why they are absorbing this particular frequency from the sunlight. If the vibration frequency is matching with the IR radiation frequency, then not it is absorbed. Okay, so that is the reason of this absorption. Now, these are the molecules, triatomic or polyatomic molecules having different modes of vibration suitable for the absorption of IR, and so the greenhouse gases are only responsible for the global warming. They can absorb the IR frequency, otherwise others cannot. Like O2, H2, N2, they cannot absorb IR radiation frequency because this different bending modes of vibration is not available. Bending mode is required. Bending vibration, the rocking, the wagging, all these things as I have shown you. So different such movements are necessary so that they can absorb the IR, otherwise not. Please keep the mobile away for the time. এখন বন্ধ করো মোবাইলটা. So greenhouse, the sunlight is coming to the ground and getting reflected. Sunlight is coming to the ground and is getting reflected. কোথায় বাকি সব কোথায় এতক্ষণ বাদে তো চা বানিয়ে খাচ্ছে নাকি? So atmosphere, through the atmosphere the sunlight is coming to the earth and then returning back by reflection. Do you know there is a term called albedo? Probably not. A portion of the sunlight is absorbed and a portion of the sunlight is reflected back to the sky. The portion that is absorbed depends on that type of planet. What is the color of the planet? How much is the absorption capability? So that phenomena is this absorption capability. That phenomena is called albedo. ALBEDO. So how much of the sunlight is absorbed by the earth? Do you know? 30%. And how much reflected back? 70%. So earth is absorbing only 30% and reflecting 70%. Similarly, some other planet may absorb more, some planet may absorb less, depending on whether it is shiny, lustrous or black color. If it is more black, it will absorb more. And the phenomenon is called black body phenomenon, black body. If it is a black one, why can't he open it? Knock করে যাচ্ছি. হ্যাঁ খুলতে জানো না? ঘোড়া লিক করে এ বাবা ভাববে কেন? আগে তো চেক করবে তারপর বলবে. ভাবছো কেন? টেস্ট ট্রাই. আচ্ছা ওকে listen. Sunlight 30% is absorbed and 70% reflected. So this phenomena, how much absorbed and how much reflected, that is called albedo. Could you understand albedo? Those who are there, could you understand albedo? Okay. So this earth is not a black body. If black body, it could absorb 100%. That is called a perfect black body. But earth is not at all a black body. So it is absorbing only little, 30% absorb. Now the greenhouse effect may be defined as the progressive warming up of the earth's surface due to blanketing effect. What is the blanketing effect means? This atmosphere is acting like a blanket and it is absorbing some portion of the sunlight. See, a portion of the sunlight is getting reflected back. So this phenomena is the cause of greenhouse effect. Ajay, can you tell me, if there is no greenhouse gas present in the earth, what will be the temperature of the earth? No greenhouse gas present. Decrease. What is the temperature? What will be the temperature? Without any greenhouse gas, what will be the earth temperature? minus 18 degrees centigrade on an average. Minus 18 degrees centigrade on an average. That means it is freezing cold. Minus 18 degree means freezing cold. There will be no water left into any river or ocean. Everything will be solidified into very thick crust of ice. Thick ice crust will be there everywhere, right? Totally ice age. Everywhere there will be snow, there will be ice, nothing else. No plant, no greeneries, no forest. Everything will be covered by ice, isn't it? But we are protected from that situation due to these greenhouse gases. So that means greenhouse gas is not bad. Without greenhouse gas we cannot survive. But too much of anything is bad. If you take too much of vitamin, there will be a problem called vitaminosis. Hypervitaminosis. Hypervitaminosis. Have you heard about that? Protein is good or bad? Protein, good or bad? Obviously good, is required for our growth and everything, for survival also. But too much of protein is also giving you trouble. Okay? So that is giving a lot of pressure onto our liver. So too much of protein is not good, because the liver will actually do the thing, na? It will have to send the that bile acid, bile salt, these things will be sent by liver only. So liver will be under pressure if there is too much of protein. So too much of anything is bad in the world. There should be always a control. Food, yes. Food should be controlled. We should not take too much of food. Rather, if we take less food is better, because we are taking sometimes, most of the time, more than required. Okay, and once a week fasting is very good. Fasting once a week is very good, because lot of cancerous cell is developed into our body, and that they will be killed if there is no food available. These cancerous cell will be dead, and we will be protected from cancer. Okay, so that is the one very big benefit. And 16 hours fasting is the ideal one. How can you do 16 hours fasting? You can take dinner in the evening and take lunch in the morning. Automatically the gap will be around 16 hours. Okay. Now, that means too much of anything is bad, as that's why I told you. Now this greenhouse gas, if it is excessive, then it will give global warming. And what are the effects of global warming? Okay, just you observe, this is called actually the greenhouse. As we were talking about the greenhouse, this is the greenhouse. This is the greenhouse. Please do it afterwards. Keep it. No mobile. Looking very odd. So, देखो greenhouse actually है क्या? Greenhouse है क्या? This is the greenhouse. The green plants are there inside a glass-made room, and there will be the shade also is made such a totally transparent room. So sunlight, there is a technology behind it. Sunlight can enter through the glass, and it is visible wavelength, and it is becoming converted to microwave, because the wavelength energy, some amount is absorbed by the glass, and some amount only can be transferred inside. So that's why partly the visible radiation is getting converted to microwave radiation. If not whole, at least partly it is getting converted, and that's why the room inside is heated up. Okay, we are not getting feeling warm in sunlight because of only light. We are getting warm because lot of microwave is associated with that. That microwave is actually giving us heat, the warmness. So here this visible light radiation is getting converted to microwave radiation, and the room is getting heated up. That is greenhouse. So for a cold country, top of the mountain, the hilltop, wherever the temperature is very low, then this helps. And we are also inside just like a greenhouse gas. This gas is like acting like a greenhouse, so that we are also getting protected from the extreme cold. But excessive is bad, always. I have to repeatedly. So these are all different pictures that I am showing is different examples of greenhouses. These are all examples of greenhouses. This is into mountain top. This is into very cold country, Arctic area. Arctic area. And this is can you understand what is that? Where is that? Space stations. Space stations total is shaded, covered. Inside the dome, the light is penetrating through the glass, and that inside you have a total field. They are doing the plantation inside the spaceship, huge spaceship that is called space station, and there people are staying so many years, year after year. So they have to cultivate the food. Always we cannot carry because you cannot get fresh food there. Only synthetic food you will get, not fresh food. If you want to get fresh food, then you have to go for cultivation, and people are doing actually cultivation. And they are so happy if you get a piece of carrot, so happy, oh, I have cultivated. Because you see, very difficult to do in the space, na? So if we get a single piece of carrot there, you will be very happy. I have cultivated this thing into my field. So, this is the thing. Sunlight is getting penetrated inside. Say wavelength is here is very, the frequency is high. Here it is becoming longer wavelength, shorter wavelength, becoming longer wavelength, and that's why it is warming the whole. This is the technology behind it. How it is happening? The picture will clarify the thing. That how it is happening. Whenever light is outside, that is very high frequency and low low wavelength, this smaller wavelength, and here you have the longer wavelength. Okay, and low energy, longer wavelength. So the sunlight is coming, passing through the atmosphere, and the portion is getting reflected, portion is coming to the ground. So these so many arrows are just signifying the same thing. Sunlight is penetrated, a portion is coming to the ground, a portion is getting absorbed by the atmosphere, and a portion is getting reflected from the atmosphere itself. And a portion getting irradiated to the ground, also getting reflected partly, and partly getting absorbed. And wavelength gets changed. That is the main phenomenon. When a wavelength is coming with a certain frequency, when it is going back with a different frequency, because portion of the energy is captured by the atmosphere, by the soil, by the land mass, by the water mass. The energy is absorbed, and rest is getting dissipated to the surrounding. Short wavelength and long wavelength. Short wavelength is getting reflected maximum. Some of the long wavelength rather absorbs more. IR radiation is absorbed, not the ultraviolet. Okay, IR radiation is getting absorbed here because of these atmospheric gases, greenhouse gases. Now, if there is too much of greenhouse effect, then the earth is getting heated up more than normal, and average temperature will increase, and there will be some very important, very bad phenomena rather. Okay, carbon dioxide, this is contribution towards the greenhouse effect is 50%. Contribution of carbon dioxide towards the greenhouse effect is 50%. Contribution of methane is 19%. Chlorofluorocarbon 17%. Not quantity. Contribution towards the greenhouse phenomena. Okay, nitrous oxide 2%, ozone 8%, and water 4%. If you add, it will be supposed to be 100. So this is giving the total global warming, and contribution of each and every gases are given here. These are the greenhouse gases. Okay. The list already I told you. Apart from ozone, because ozone is actually not, there is no direct source, it is produced in the air itself. So ozone also can absorb the air. But ozone in the troposphere is very nominal. That's why we are not concerned. I did not tell you about the ozone because it is not there in the troposphere much. It is there in the stratosphere. So whatever temperature rise is happening due to ozone, it is happening in the stratosphere. Tropospheric ozone concentration is very nominal. So you can ignore that. But others, here it is written 8%, but this is not mentioned in the troposphere or stratosphere. In the tropospheric ozone concentration is not that high. That's why whatever heating phenomena happening, that is in the stratosphere itself. Okay, so if there is a cloud, it is captured by cloud or reflected by cloud also. This signifies that. These are the greenhouse gases, these are the structures, and their movement, their vibration mode is responsible for this heating phenomena. This movement, as I have shown you the movement, that movement is the reason for the phenomena, particularly bending vibrations, that is required. Without this bending vibration, these gas also could not absorb IR. For absorbing IR radiation, these bending vibrations is necessary. Now one by one, their importance. Carbon dioxide. It is the most important one among all the different greenhouse gases. This is the most important one because it is present in larger quantity. How much? 0.034%. That much of high quantity, percentage level, no other gas present. Others like into water vapor, they are present in very small quantity. Parts per million, parts per billion, that type of quantity. So that's why they are not that significant. Carbon dioxide is the most significant one for global warming. So what we should do? Reduce fossil fuel burning. That is the only thing we can do. Now, as a student, what you should do? How can you reduce the that coal burning? Switch off the light and fan when you are leaving the classroom. That much you can do. Please do it. Whenever you leave the classroom, just don't think that someone else is paying. Think this way, that you are also a responsible person, you are also a responsible citizen of the country. So you have to take this much of responsibility that at least that wastage should not happen. If there is a wastage, just think, for your light fan, lot of electricity is consumed and that electricity is coming from coal burning. Think that way. And coal burning means you are contributing towards the pollution. Along with that, you are giving contribution towards the global warming. So if you want to stop the global warming, only learning about global warming is not enough. What precaution you should do, you should take it. So what you should do, as a student, what you can do, only at least you switch off the light and fan. Unnecessarily don't use the light fan. Switch off whenever required, not necessary. Methane is another one. Achha, what is the source of methane? One major source of methane, can you tell me? Hey, please stop talking and tell me. जो बोलना है मुझे बोल, not to here and there. बताओ तो what is the major source of methane? Methane का source बताओ. नहीं बंद मत करो, बोलो. What is the major source of methane? No idea ना? Methane का major source. Cow dung. Major source is cow dung. चारों तरफ फैला हुआ है. Cow dung is the major source. And you are at Fulchur, you can see the cow dung always here and there. Cows are there, obviously cow dung will be there. And this cow dung is responsible that means cattle. I'm not cow dung, I'm just giving example. So it is a cattle. So cattle growth, wherever you are just do the cattle farming, lot of cow dung is produced, and that cow dung is actually creating a lot of methane, and that is going to the atmosphere. How it is created the methane? Because the bacteria, the different type of beetle, they are actually bacterial fermentation is taking place, and by that bacterial fermentation, methane gas is generated, and that is going to the sky, atmosphere. So cow dung is the major reason for methane. Okay, methane production. Another one is different type of fermentation happening to the bioorganisms. Fermentation. By fermentation also methane can be produced. That is called anaerobic oxidation, anaerobic process, anaerobic fermentation. Aerobic fermentation and anaerobic. So it is anaerobic. Anaerobic will produce what? Methane, ammonia, H2S, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Okay, so these are the things produced, and methane is produced that way. And how carbon dioxide? What is the way of production? One major is burning, right? Fossil fuel burning. Ozone, there is no direct source, but directly emitted from this different type of reactions. Oxygen is producing ozone. From oxygen, the ozone is produced, but different ways ozone can be produced. chlorofluorocarbon. What is the major source? Refrigerants and coolants. Refrigerants and coolants. But nowadays it is stopped. 1995 there is a very famous protocol. It is held at Montreal. It is called Montreal Protocol regarding this emission of this chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, so emission was started from 1918. 1928 it was commercially used. Started in 1918 and 1928 commercially used everywhere, and the company is called DuPont. The company, they were making the chlorofluorocarbon in a monopoly way is DuPont from 1928 until 1960. Enormously people used this chlorofluorocarbon. After that, from 60 onwards, people became aware of the problem, and by 70 it is found the lot of ozone depletion taking place. Okay, so this is a ozone depleting gas also. Then 1995 people made some treaty, and after that by 2000 most of the this chlorofluorocarbon problem we could overcome. Water vapor also. Achha, one good example of water vapor global warming, that Venus, their water vapor is responsible for all the global warming. Only water vapor. How does it happen? Because in the Venus there were also atmosphere like Earth. Venus atmosphere was like Earth. Atmosphere, ocean, water, everything was there. So what happened during that as it is closer to sun, the evaporation rate of ocean was very high. So due to this evaporation, lot of clouds produced, and as the temperature became very high, the cloud could not be cooled enough to produce rainfall. And as rainfall was not there, it is the atmosphere heated up more. As it is more heated up, no rainfall was possible. So it is a cyclic way, what I am telling. Extra evaporation produced lot of water vapor, and water vapor is greenhouse gas. Due to extra greenhouse gas, that atmosphere became warm, hot, extremely hot, and as it is very hot, it could not produce any rainfall. As there is no rainfall, there is a scorching heat, and that situation became devastating. And practically now temperature is 415 degrees centigrade. As there is no rainfall, that's why it happened like this. So water vapor is also can be a very bad greenhouse gas that I explained. Nitrous oxide, it is coming from petrol burning particularly. Nitrous oxide also can be greenhouse gas. Major source is petrol burning. Burning fossil fuel produced from ocean, chemical fertilizer, lot of sources of nitrous oxide. Due to increasing use of fossil fuel, burning of forest lands to increase agricultural production, deforestation is the another most major reason. Deforestation. If you cut the plants, what will happen? Trees and plants cooling the atmosphere or environment. How? Can anyone tell me how trees and plants can keep the atmosphere cold? No, not only that. Another thing is called evapotranspiration. Precipitation means rainfall, right? So rainfall, there is a cyclic way. And for rainfall, what is the necessary condition? Can anyone tell me? Necessary condition for rainfall? No idea? Hello, anyone? Stop gossiping and tell me that what is the necessary condition for rainfall? বলতে পারো কেউ না? Two things required. One is hot and humid air, another is dry and cold air. Both are required, and collision of the two is necessary. এই দুটোকে ধাক্কা হতে হবে. One is the dry and cold air, another is hot and humid air. Collision of the two necessary. अच्छा, have you heard about the monsoon has come? Monsoon आ चुका है, सुना है? मतलब क्या है? कोई monsoon करके कोई person है वो आ रहा है, तो monsoon का क्या मतलब है? What is the meaning monsoon has come? Time हो गया? जैसे क्लास सर क्लास का टाइम खत्म हो गया सर, ऐसे ही क्या मानसून आ गया तो नॉर्मली 8 जून मानसून आता है ना, 8 जून। अच्छा, वो तो डेट हो गया, डेट हमेशा मेंटेन नहीं होता। एक्चुअली व्हाट इज मानसून देन? ह्यूमिड एयर फ्रॉम द ओशन अप्रोचिंग टुवर्ड्स द लैंड। समुंदर के ऊपर से गर्म हवा और बहुत सारी मॉइस्चर कैरी करके, गर्म नहीं होगा तो मॉइस्चर कैरी क्यों करेगा? मॉइस्चर कैरी करने के लिए गर्म होना चाहिए। गर्म हवा मॉइस्चर को कैरी करके समुद्र से ऊपर लेके आ रहा है, लैंड मास का ऊपर लेके आ रहा है, आ गया मानसून। अभी हिमालय से ठंडा हवा का झोंका नीचे की तरफ आगे बढ़ा, दोनों का धक्का लगा और बारिश हो गया। ये दोनों होना बहुत जरूरी है, एक होने से काम नहीं बनेगा। हॉट ह्यूमिड एयर भी चाहिए और कोल्ड ड्राई एयर भी चाहिए। कोल्ड होगा तो ड्राई ही होगा और हॉट होगा तो ह्यूमिड ही होगा। इसलिए वो बोलना डबल मैं बोल रहा हूँ, एक्चुअली टू गिव स्ट्रेस। हॉट एंड ह्यूमिड एयर आ रहा है और कोल्ड एंड ड्राई एयर आ रहा है, दोनों का धक्का होगा तो बारिश होगा। तो ये प्रॉब्लम है, वेनस में बारिश नहीं हो रहा है, कोल्ड हवा मिल नहीं रहा है, सिर्फ हॉट ह्यूमिड ही मिल रहा है, कोल्ड कहाँ से आ रहा है? नहीं हो रहा है, तो इसलिए बारिश नहीं हो पा रहा है। दैट वाज बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर हॉट, एंड दिस इज ड्यू टू ग्लोबल वार्मिंग। So specific example of global warming, if you want, Venus is the best example. Global warming का ultimate situation हो गया Venus में, जो हमारा अर्थ में भी होने वाला है। वही तो सिचुएशन होगा अल्टीमेटली अर्थ को। ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की तरफ हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, भविष्य में Venus ऐसा सिचुएशन हो जाएगा। Even the stone, rocks and stones will melt and flow like water. That temperature will achieve. Maybe temperature someday will become, situation will be worse than Venus. Venus में तो 450 टेम्परेचर, ये तो 600-700 क्रॉस हो जाएगा हमारा इधर। ओके, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ ओनली ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट ये होने वाला है। क्यों होगा? ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट। नाउ सो इट इज बिकमिंग वार्मर और वार्मर, कॉन्स्टेंटली टेम्परेचर बढ़ते जा रहा है, तो उसका व्हाट इज द इफेक्ट अल्टीमेटली कैसे हो रहा है? देखो ऐसे, दिस इज द प्लॉट। प्लॉट को देखो, टेम्परेचर धीरे धीरे ऊपर की तरफ, इट इज गोइंग अपवर्ड, बट इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू मेक ए स्ट्रेट लाइन। इट विल बी ऑलवेज zigzag पैटर्न बिकॉज सीजन्स, cold and hot, cold and hot. Now winter has come, we cannot understand where is global warming. Now it is winter, but again summer will come, and that summer will be hot, comparatively more hot than the earlier year. That way it proceeds. So this the situation is this plot, zigzag plot. This one you follow, you will understand what is happening. Now effects. Cause I have explained a lot. Now come to the effect. Effects of global warming. Melting of polar ice caps. Polar ice cap melt. It will become water and going into the river. That river water is going to the ocean. Then what is the problem? Problem is initially the river water will be flooded. River will be flooded up. And nearby all the banks of the river, there are a lot of villages and everything. It will carry away all the villages along with it. Okay? The river will flow over the villages, carry over all the villages, break down all the banks. Bank of the river will be broken down, and lot of river will be totally annihilated, destroyed completely. That type of phenomena will happen if there is a melting of polar ice cap there. Not only that, salinity level of the ocean will decrease for some time. Salinity level of ocean will decrease. And as the salinity level will decrease, it will start absorbing less carbon dioxide. Due to salinity level, ocean is absorbing more carbon dioxide from the air. Ocean is a huge sink. Okay, are you listening carefully? Ocean is absorbing lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Not only plant. Plant is absorbing, that you know. But apart from plant, ocean is also a very good contributor. It is absorbing lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Now, if the salinity level goes down, ocean will also stop absorbing carbon dioxide. As a result, carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere will go up. Still temperature will become higher and more ice will melt and flow. This is called synergic effect. One effect is influencing another effect. One phenomena influencing another phenomena, and both the phenomena is enhancing each other. That is called synergic. Have you heard about synergy earlier? This is called synergy. One phenomena is enhancing another phenomena, and both the phenomena together is enhancing each other. So what I told initially, what is happening? Suppose ice is melting. That molten ice becoming river water, it is going to the ocean, reducing the salinity level of water, and as a result it will absorb less carbon dioxide. More carbon dioxide will be there in the atmosphere. As a result, temperature will go up further. So this is synergy effect. Decline of endangered animal and plant species. Lot of animal and plant will be endangered because of the change of climatic conditions. Heard about migratory birds? Migratory birds every year comes to our country from other country. From very cold country, they are coming to our country. Now, this type of different species will be lost from the earth. So, decline of the endemic animal and plant species. Biodiversity is becoming less. Lot of species already is gone from the world for different reasons. Climatic condition is one very important reason, apart from others. Increased precipitation. Due to global warming, there are coming too much of rainfall. Nowadays, rainfall is increasing, that I have already noted. This year, the rainfall was enormous, isn't it? Maybe because of global warming. That is the effect we can actually see. It is observed that this year the rainfall is excessive, and maybe because of this greenhouse effect only. There is a natural phenomenon, it happens. Suddenly there is too much of snowfall, may happen. But don't think that global warming so becoming hot, so where from the snow is coming? No, it is a fluctuation. It happens, lot of fluctuation. This is because of fluctuation only. Global warming means constantly temperature go up. Goes up and down, up and down. Net result, going up. Increased population of pests. Because of global warming, pest is increasing. Today we will just think, how much mosquito? Too much. More than earlier, probably. Different type of other insects are also increasing. Why? Because insect larva is taken by toad, frog. Nowadays toad and frog is reduced a lot. Toad and frog reduced a lot. So who will eat their larva? Not eaten. That's why they are growing enormously. Decline in agricultural harvest. Because of this global warming phenomena, agricultural harvest will be less. You cannot get much production. Because of too much of insects also, agricultural loss will be there. Droughts and flood, very common. Practically you have seen that nowadays. Droughts and flood are becoming very common. This time also there was flood here and there. Even the Kolkata was under the water for some time. During Durga Puja only. That happened, no? So that means it is nothing new, I am telling you. You already have seen, observed, felt. This phenomenon is felt also. Decreased supply of clean drinking water. These are all outcome. If there is too much of excessive rainfall, then your pump going under the water, your well going under the water, then clean water supply will be limited. Spread of disease. If there is this climatic condition gets changed, there will be more disease. if the insect is increasing, why not the microbe also? Bacteria, microbe, their growth also will increase. Change in the natural ecosystem. Ecosystem get devastated. It's a natural cyclic process. Acha, do you know whale? Timi mach. Acha, if we eat all the whale, ধরো মানুষ যদি সব তিমি মাছ খেয়ে ফেলে কি প্রবলেম হবে? আর খাবে না, আর খাবে না, এই তো? No, not that. Whale goes up and down very frequently. It goes down and then coming up, and that way it carries the nutrient on the top level. নিচে থেকে নিউট্রিয়েন্টকে উপরে তুলে আনে, and the phytoplanktons are surviving based on that nutrient. If the whales are not there, phytoplankton cannot survive. If phytoplankton cannot survive, fish cannot survive. Without fish, we will have no food. Because not us always, I am talking about the European country, they are depending on marine food. Then marine food will be scarce because of this type of problem. If we eat, so that is I am talking about ecosystem disaster. If you just break one chain from the ecosystem, the whole ecosystem will collapse. Okay.